What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Basketball This Week, presented by District of Buckets. If you won your last week, make sure to comment down below GG's Easy Dubs every week. Every week we're getting dubs out here. If you lost your week, make sure to stay tuned because we got a lot of information that's going to help you out this week. Before we get into the action, make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting anything basketball related. We love to talk to our people. But let's get right into it.
Let's go.
And now we're going to move into buy low, sell high. Some of the guys that we are looking at. You want me to start or you want to start, Carl?
I've already started talking. Let me just get mine out of the way first.
Get it going.
Yeah, so I actually have kind of 4 tiers here today. Instead of just buy low, sell high, I have a buy low, a definite stash target, someone I want you to monitor, and then someone I think you should sell high on. So starting off with buy low, sticking with my trend of the Miami Heat is actually Tyler Hero. So buy low mostly because of the way the perception of his name right now kind of is amongst the basketball community, at least fans. Because we saw like his talent last year, and then it's kind of he's had a pretty down year in a lot of different facets, but also there's been COVID, and there's been injury. He's been dealing with injury recently, so you may want to be able. He's someone I think you could probably either if someone's still holding him on the roster, they're probably pretty upset at what they're getting out of Tyler Hero right now, just because you're not seeing the points if you're not playing, and that's a good person to grab because when he does play, he's been playing 33.2 minutes per game, and also along with the Heat getting back to full strength, Dragic and all those other guys getting back together in that type of chemistry, we're going to see them, I think, in the second half of the season, as they've already started to turn it around, start to look closer to that type of team that went to the finals last year. I don't think it's going to be quite the same for them, but that's another story for another podcast and another day. But I think Tyler Hero is going to ride that upward trend as all those guys start finally, getting together and playing well with one another, because we've seen teams who've gone through a bunch of COVID protocols and injuries now slowly start to get together, i.e. the Washington Wizards, who are a team who also had COVID hit them hard. It took them a little bit of time to gel, and I think that's what's going to happen with the Miami Heat. So Tyler Hero is my buy now for this week, just because of the upside that he has when the Heat are at full strength. Next, I have the injury stash target. It's Marcus Smart. And me and Tyler have had these conversations that it seems like Marcus Smart really is the glue to the Boston Celtics. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. Say that he's worth a stash. Is that he does everything for them.
Yeah, I've personally been stashing Marcus Smart. I drafted him, and as a Celtics fan, you can clearly see how much worse they are without Marcus Smart. He is the primary defender for the Celtics, and when Kemba's struggling, which he has been, Marcus Smart is the point guard. He's not afraid to take over when it is necessary. And to keep this going, last season, there was no other duo responsible for more assists to another player than Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown. And you've seen how much Jaylen Brown has improved this year. Marcus Smart is just going to continue to add to that. And then obviously he's going to rack up the assists because of that. Marcus Smart is one of the most underrated players, as he's hated by a lot of teams for the way he plays defense. But regardless of any of that, he makes the Boston Celtics better. And then while doing that, he receives more opportunity to chuck up shots, to pass to 2 all-stars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who continue to improve their offensive game. So I 100% agree with stashing Marcus Smart if you can.
Yep. 100% stash Marcus Smart. And then I have a player I think you should really monitor their usage. That's Derrick Rose right now. So a lot of Derrick Rose's usage with the New York Knicks has changed, mostly because we have an injured Elfrid Payton. And so I don't really quite know what Thibs is doing with IQ and all those other guards on that team. But Derrick Rose has seen a giant uptick in minutes. He's still got game. I don't even know why it's even a question at this point. So I think that he's a guy that you want to see if those minutes are going to stay up. And if those minutes stay up, he might be worth making a move in the second half of the season, as this Knicks team is actually trying to win games and be competitive in the Eastern Conference, which is something I can't believe I'm saying in 2021. But he's a guy that I would 100% watch list. Really, you're looking at those minutes he's playing, because if those minutes stay consistent, and it's a good example of how maybe he's getting acclimated to the team now, and now that's the role that Thibodeau wants him to play, is playing these types of minutes that he has. Eventually, he'd be a guy I'd say maybe go grab, but you don't really want to do that too soon. But he's a guy you want to watch. And then lastly, my sell high candidate is Dante DiVincenzo for the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's for a very simple reason, and that's Drew Holiday's coming back. DiVincenzo is still going to be valuable in spurts, but it's just, again, opportunity in minutes. You're going to lose a lot when you have an all-star caliber guard come back in your lineup, and that's basically all I had for buy low, sell high this week.
Yeah, Drew Holiday is going to take away a lot of that opportunity, because as he's been out for 11 games now, I think it has been 10 or 11 games, and the Bucks do not play nearly as well without him, and that's going to continue to show. Once he comes back, they're going to start winning more basketball games again.
Yep.
And because of that, he'll continue to get opportunity. He's a great steals guy, and he could be a buy low candidate. As DiVincenzo's a sell high, Drew Holiday could be a buy low candidate. My buy low and sell highs also revolve around injury. So my first sell high candidate, Neas Cantor. Nurkic is going to be coming back eventually after the All-Star break, and Cantor is most likely going to turn into a waiver wire guy due to lack of opportunity, lack of minutes. I like Cantor. He can't play defense, but he puts up some solid fantasy production whenever he's on the court. He just won't be on the court anymore. So if you have the opportunity to sell Cantor high, definitely do it. Don't wait until Nurkic comes back and then he just becomes a waiver wire guy and you get nothing in return for him. Try and at least get something out of him. My buy low candidates, sticking with the Trailblazers. Yes, CJ McCollum and Nurkic, both buy low candidates. McCollum and Nurkic are set to come back after the All-Star break, maybe not immediately after the All-Star break, but sometime in March most likely. And these guys are top 50 guys from the projections. ESPN had them projected in standard leagues. CJ McCollum was supposed to average 35 per game, and Nurkic was supposed to average 40 per game. That clearly puts them top 50, Nurkic even in the top 25. I need to look at how many leagues they're owned in. McCollum he's rostered in 96% of leagues. So obviously people have held on to him, they know his worth. But Nurkic is he's only owned in 46% of leagues, and he was projected to average 40 fantasy points per game. Excellent rebound candidate, excellent field goal percentage candidate, excellent block candidate, steals candidate. He's going to be a guy that's going to really help out the Portland Trailblazers. And he's a waiver wire guy right now, owned in less than 50% of the leagues. So if he's still available in your league and you have the ability to take on that risk and take on that extra guy sitting out until he comes back, Nurkic is your guy. If you're looking for a shooting guard that can rain down threes, can be the perfect complement to Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, people might have forgotten his worth by now. Don't miss out on that opportunity. CJ McCollum is phenomenal for the Portland Trailblazers, and he should be treated like so. And you should be offering things to get CJ McCollum before it's too late and he does start raining threes. And you're like, damn, I just missed out on a buy low candidate that could help me win in the playoffs, that could take me to the championship game. So those are my two buy low candidates, both on the Trailblazers. Both could significantly help your team, and both are set to come back in sometime in March after the All-Star break.